There's a phenomenon that amused me a lot in the recent past, and now it started bothering me, hence this video. Frankly, this YouTube channel is in response to the enemies of reason. Seemingly educated people, youngsters, middle aged, and older people alike seem to get attracted to self styled spiritual gurus. While there are many species of such gurus, one particular individual caught my attention whose charm, if you could say that, has been ever more anti scientific and brazen that not addressing would be unforgivable by my own conscience. By the way, I call him the Juggy and not by his undeserved other name. And before any of his cult members get offended, hold on to your unicorns until the end of this video, and I guarantee you'll be more offended, or on the off chance, you might learn something. Deal? Let's go. This series is titled The Juggy Heads, and I spent time only to dispel the pseudoscience claims and outright dishonesty and false statements that the Juggy so effortlessly gets away with. I could not care less about the banalities and mystical sounding statements that the Juggy keeps uttering to the instant gratification of his blind devotees. I also have nothing to say about the well-mixed concoction of spiritual sounding words like higher consciousness, transcendence, inner engineering, and the likes, interspersed with clever adjectives and rhetorical question tags. Well, I do have a lot to say about those turd bites, but that's for another time. Those mystical words, though, do amuse a large group of people that I call the Juggy Heads. But anyway, we're here to talk about the brazen lies, untruths, and straight up anti scientific misinformation uttered by this Juggy, those that go unchallenged by his dim wit devotees. Ad hominem aside, let's get to the topic. By the way, I have no illusions that after seeing these videos by any hardcore Juggy head is going to abandon his or her brand of spiritual orgasm that they get by listening to Juggy. But I do hope that at least some people who are willing to use brains for a change and have a slight suspicion that this Juggy could be a moron hiding behind good English vocabulary. And that someone is my audience. And that someone might benefit in deciding one way or the other. Over the years, the Juggy has made some golden pronouncements that have caught attention of many rationalists. But who wants to listen to rationalists when the Juggy is an expert connoisseur of tasty verbal concoctions that sound sweet but zero in nutrition or substance? One such jewel is water has memory. Before laughing it off, let's look at the turd bite.
Without changing the chemical composition of the water, you can rearrange the molecular arrangement in such a way that the water will behave completely in a different way than the way it does. To such an extent, it's sensitive to this extent that if I take a glass of water in my hand and just look at it in a certain way and give it to you, well-being will come to you. If I look at it another way and give it to you, you will fall sick tonight. This is no more superstition, this is science.
Well-being will come to you, you'll fall sick tonight, and the dense Juggy heads don't even see a problem with that? When you look at something, you're not giving anything to that something. Eyes are input devices. Eyes only take the light in. Eyes don't give out any power or energy or rays or anything like that. And to support this water memory crackpot theory, there have been videos from some lower life forms of the Juggy head clan which refer to a documentary funded by the phony homeopathy industry that pronounces water has memory. Let's look at that.
Experiments done in many countries around the world have shown that water receives and makes an imprint of any outside influence, remembering everything that occurs in the space that surrounds it. Water has memory. As it records information, water acquires new properties, yet its chemical composition remains unchanged.
By the way, homeopathy, that's another rectum-derived idea which will be a subject for another time. Let's get back, right? The Jaggi used this third bite, water has memory, to support his pet project of adding a dollop of religion to everything he utters and obviously making money on the side. We'll get back to this money-making scheme in a minute, but here's the dollop of religion. Let's roll this.
Water is cleaned off impurities, all water is same. This would have been the argument 10 years ago, but not anymore. Modern science is clearly saying that depending upon what the water has been in touch with, accordingly it behaves differently. This is an established fact now, because water has memory. Now, when we say Ganga Jal, why it's been important is, it is flowing through certain lands, it is flowing through certain terrain, which has a certain impact. And it is not for 1 or 2 generations, for hundreds of generations. People have been doing spiritual sadhana and they've been in touch with this water. The quality of that is there in the…
You heard that? Okay, so let's ask a fundamental question. What is water? Now this question makes the Jaggi heads dismiss you immediately, but being the pea-brain they are, they fail to realize the profoundness of this question. In the context of the third bite, water has memory. We understand that memory is a function of an entity. A blank has memory doesn't make sense when we put something else like air has memory, sky has memory, or fire has memory. But why does it make sense to the Jaggi heads when they hear water has memory? Memory is a function of an entity. An entity must be a self-contained unit. It can be a cat, a bat, a snake, a worm, a human, or a computer, or any other device, because they have something that can hold the memory. They have some hardware that can hold the memory. Now, answer the question again. What is water? A Jaggi head couldn't still grasp the question or see any problem with water memory. Now that's how dumb they are. Obviously, if the Jaggi head could understand it by now, there wouldn't be a Jaggi head in the first place, would they? Here's a drop of water. Here's a glass of water. Here is a bottle. Here is a tap that is running water. Here is a well that has been holding water along with some disagreeable materials probably. Here is a river that is flowing. And here is another river that is flowing. We'll come back to this last river again in a minute. You'll recall it when you see it again. Now, if you pour that glass over or the bottle of water into the river, does the water and glass remember that it was once in a glass? Can anyone take out the exact same molecules of water from the river to put back in the glass? Because that's what memory is, right? It needs to recall. At this stage, the Jaggi head's pea-brain will retort something similar to the following. Water memory is not about which container it is from, it is about what material water is in contact with. Now these morons destroy their own argument. Isn't the water in contact with the container? Water's molecular configuration is H2O, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. The only configuration it has is of its states using the covalent and weak hydrogen bonds. Now let's hear another third bite from the Jaggi.
And we know that we can change the molecular composition of water with any kind of reverb or vibration. The way the water structures itself, the way the molecular structure changes so rapidly, and water has almost like how human body has cells. Water has its own cellular structure, and this cellular structure can change with even smallest inputs of vibration. Vibration can come in the form of touch, in the form of thought, emotion, a look.
Are you crazy? Water does not form any lattices or information panels or memory cells that can be called as memory. So there is nothing called water memory. There's no cellular structure of water. I mean, come on, are there no self-respecting so-called educated people who studied chemistry? This is basic chemistry, right? Are there no educated people at all in the Juggy Head clan? And by the way, if each water molecule has memory or a group of water molecules have combined memory, there could be water molecules that are in existence from at least from the beginning of our solar system. Each molecule has been part of countless animals' urine, blood, spit, tears, and sweat, semen, and other fluids. Do these Juggy Heads really seriously think water has memory and that water remembers that just a few minutes ago it was part of their dog's saliva and now has evaporated to condense on top of their fresh ice cream cone? Is that what they believe? Because that's what happens. One of the main reasons the Juggy wanted this water memory concept is because he wants to say water remembers the previous sadhus and maharshis who have bathed in the river Ganges and give the benefits to anyone who will go and dip into the holy Kool-Aid. But do these idiots realize that the water flows? It's not the same water. It's not a lake. It's a river. Do they also realize that water, when it was flowing, it has also come in contact with dog shit, people urinating and defecating in the water upstream, and floating dead bodies in that same water that you so happily consume? This is River Ganges, if you're wondering. This is what the water remembers. It has been in touch with every disgusting thing what I said. The second and more sinister but obvious reason is business. Now, this is a no-brainer, right? It's you could just go to the Isha Life web store, the web store of the Juggy, and you would simply realize what I'm talking about. Now, Juggy has an online shop. This is his shop, and he wants to sell you the copper vessels that are available for pretty interesting prices. Hey, look, I'm all for business, okay? Where there is a buyer, there will always be a seller. Whenever a dumbass idiot opens his wallet, there is a cheap-ass crook waiting to grab it. Demand and supply, right? I'm okay with that. But the Juggy uses pseudoscience and religion so efficiently that it makes idiots like the Juggy Heads reach for their wallets faster than a dog in heat looking for its mate. And that's what I'm against. Not the dog in heat, but spewing unscientific bullshit to sell some copper vessels. A quick homework for the viewers. Search and learn about this word called copper toxicity and how it can affect you and your body. Stupidity has a cost and you need to know about it. I ask again, are there no self-respecting chemistry students or physics students in the Juggy Head clan? Or anyone with the basic common sense? Why wasn't he challenged at IIT Madras or any other institute where Juggy makes a fool out of you and your education and empirical science? Or did the noble-minded Juggy Heads get beaten down by their own kind of rowdy Juggy Heads? I mean, how low will you stoop to allow a moron to insult your intelligence? That's it. Business and religion. No other reason to invoke the third bite, water has memory. No self-respecting scientist has ever said water has memory. Only idiots of the Jaggi Head clan and a paid documentary for homeopathy industry keep repeating that third bite for business. I mean, homeopathy has its own reason to spin that third bite of water has memory, business, and the Jaggi also uses the same thing to do business. At whose expense is the question. More about homeopathy in a future episode. Now, let this water memory thought trouble the Jaggi heads for a while, and I'm sure they must be raring to write insults about me and personal insults that I'm trying to destroy their dharma, their Sanatana dharma, and all that. We get to see the Jaggi heads in their wild habitat in the comments section below. And let me warn the miscreants, I am not known to be gentle. You will see what I mean in the comments below. Now, in this series, let us expose the stupidity and blatant anti-scientific and bull excrement that Jaggi spews out and Jaggi heads so happily consume. Now, this has been a production for the series The Jaggi Heads. Next up, do not sleep with your head to the north. You know you could die. Did you know that? Now, thousands of Jaggi heads think so, and they keep professing. Courtesy of the Jaggi, obviously. Find out the real truth about sleeping with your head to the north. Subscribe on YouTube and share the joy. You know you want to do that. Go on, click that subscribe button. And also follow these pages on Facebook if you can. Until next time, let us enjoy the amusing comments from the Jaggi heads. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Ta-ta.